So after 3 years of applying for Anime Magic back to back, we finally got in. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Anime Magic aside from the hype, which is that it's kind of the best anime convention that happens within like the Donald E Convention Center area, obviously aside from ASIN. And everybody tells me, girl, you gotta get in there, you gotta get in there, that's the one. So finally, I got in there. Except obviously from what you saw, I got in off the waiting list. And this was the best way to start the day, with like filming and not realizing that my mic was malfunctioning. I was really just yapping here, guys, but I started the day kind of late because the day started at 10, which is kind of weird for a Friday. And I had only got there at 10, so I didn't finish setting up until like 12 or maybe like even like 1. But it wasn't a big deal. The main people who wanted to get something were from the stamp rally and they came back later. So my mic just went stupid. I don't know what happened, but I have a seat now. It's cool, and I also didn't bite the ice cream yet, so let's do it together. You get the first bite. Just kidding. Give me my shit. Okay, that's good. Big back! Anyways. Nothing major happened that day. It was a regular day for me, like it was an average Friday, which obviously I assumed was going to be the case, but I kind of felt like it was almost a little below average for a Friday. From what I had heard, the numbers are actually down this year from last year and the previous year. So I kind of stepped in on a really fucked up year. Hey guys, it's day 2. And I didn't really get to film anything yesterday, mostly because I forgot. I keep forgetting. But also, it was extremely dead a lot of the day, so not a whole lot happened anyways. I am very close to having my table back. It's really weird because today's hours are the same hours as yesterday's hours, and I was kind of surprised that yesterday we opened up at 10. It's really weird for a Friday because even opening up at 1 is a lot usually on Fridays, and it really didn't do anything, so there really wasn't any point of having those extra hours. But it's Saturday, a lot of people walking around, and it's only 10:44. We opened up about 44 minutes ago. So yeah, hoping today is better, and yeah, I'll let you guys know in like a couple minutes how this goes. I'm not entirely sure if I said this already, and I'm pretty sure I haven't, but I joined 2 stamp rallies this weekend, and I really think that was the main thing keeping me afloat because there weren't a whole lot of anything going on. Like, there was a lot of people coming around, and the halls actually filled up quite often, but the sales in between the hours really didn't make up for the amount of people that were there. I also heard that they add an additional 100 tables from last year's numbers, which could have also had something to do with the low number of sales because the attendance was down this year compared to the 2 years before. Not to mention Fan Expo was the week right before this weekend, and this weekend was also happening alongside Anime NYC. Alright, so it just turned 12, and towards the end of 11, we started to get a crowd in here, and it's pretty good. I've had about 3 sales. I don't know, it's very on and off here. And I can't even go based off of what I've heard people say because some people have had better experiences than others, like always. Also, there's glare behind me and I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, some people are saying that the show is pretty bad, and it was bad last year because of organization, and there are some who say it's really good for them. So honestly, I don't know how it's going to go. Regardless, I'm just riding with the waves. I've had enough emotional attachments and sadness from raising my expectations too high. So it is what it is, honestly, at the end of the day. I haven't been able to look around much at all because I tend to stay glued to my table when it's con time, mostly out of anxiousness. I don't want to miss a sale. Maybe I should go look around soon and show you guys what it's looking like in here. But I had to like rig you guys up on like a because I forgot my tripod in the car 2 days in a row because I have really bad memory. And right now I'm in the process of adding these little sticky tabs that I printed out with my thermal printer with our business name on it onto our persona stickers. And we're basically using these as business cards because I continuously forget to make and buy new business cards because The ones I used to use were when I was operating on my own as Spacedivaa, and I could use my banner logo to make a new business card, but I really don't relate to the logo we have for our banner, and I'm thinking about updating that as well before I can actually make new business cards. So I have a lot to do, and I need to do it because I mean, I want to be professional. I'm gonna try to get all that done before November for Anime Impulse, and hopefully I have. So if I have not, hold me accountable. You guys scream at me in the comments and tell me that I need to get my shit together. I won't take it personally because I do need to get my shit together. But that's all that's happening right now, and I'll let you guys in on more details later. Now, like most cons, Saturday was the busiest day, and although not a whole lot happened, enough happened to where I felt comfortable being there. I ended up making back the rest of table and the motel I spent money on, which that's something I will say. Guys, don't spend a lot of freaking money on a hotel. You could get good bed quality at a motel, but if that's not your kind of thing, I get it. Me personally, I'm not rich and I can't be spending $500 for a weekend on hotels quite yet. So I'm gonna cut it down where I can, and I stayed at a motel that was like 12 minutes from me, and I just drove in every day, which was still cheaper than the hotel. Alright, I haven't eaten anything, so I'm going to get boba. This doesn't sound good, I'm sorry. This is the only way I can improvise having this thing on me without holding it in my hands. So it sounds scratchy and bumpy, I'm sorry. Now, their food options were unlike anything I had ever seen at most other cons I've been to. They were really good, like vast options, although expensive like most con food is, but they got it out pretty fast as well. I attended Magic as an attendee like 2 years ago. The food is way better this year because last year I had a ramen that was complete ass, but this year I guess they got a different person to cook the ramen and it was way better. Sorry, past person, if you're watching this, but that shit was watered down. But I think everything was made by Gundam Market vendors, and they also had a kung fu tea there, which is cool. All right, it's 4 o'clock. Nothing really is going on. Like, it's on and off. It's kind of crazy. I think the only thing saving me right now, sales-wise, are stamp rallies. And honestly, those are barely doing anything either. I don't really know if it is just... You know what? Actually, okay, here's what it is. Fan Expo was last weekend. And simultaneously, we have Anime NYC. And also, I believe... What else is going on right now? There are like 2 other really huge cons happening the same weekend. So if you had to choose between this and those... I'm pretty sure you'd rather be in New York than Chicago for a small little con. So I'm pretty sure everyone's pockets are dry or they're just in another state. I'm still holding on to whatever hope is left. I'm not gonna say hope, but whatever happens, happens, to be honest. The food I got like is really expensive here, but it's actually really good food. So I almost don't mind spending as much as I am on the food. Like $18 for a bowl is kind of crazy. And like $10 for a boba, I guess isn't too insane. It's like a total of like $28 for a meal for just me. So I recommend bringing food, to be honest. You don't want to spend so much, but I'll talk to you guys in a second.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Jesus Amador ILLU here with a new episode of What It's Like to Attend a Convention. Charlie, insert round of applause here on iMovie Edits. Sorry, headphones users. Mwah.
Thank you. Okay, so we're in the last hour of the con. I meant to say a long time ago because I don't think I said this, but I made table back and the hotel that I'm staying in. So I made all that back, and technically I'm making profit. I've been making profit for a while, so it's not terrible, but it still isn't exactly what I was expecting or what it was hyped up to be, especially for today being a Saturday. Hi! And I was cut off, but that's the end of Saturday, and then now we jump to Sunday where Toad is with me again and I'm not alone. Alright friends, it's the last day, and I didn't update you guys yesterday on what was going on, so I'll update you right now. Yesterday, which was Saturday, was a pretty good day, but it was very, very slow in interval. There were some hours where we had a lot of traction and some hours where we had little to none. It's really hard to put a finger on what is and isn't working when it comes to anime magic, because it could be my seating arrangement or it could just be something I'm doing in my display. I have changed my display this time. It's a very new display from what we usually have. Usually we have about something similar to what we do every time, but this time is like completely different because we added 2 windows. So it's really hard to put a finger on what could be making it be this way. It could have been the con last week, it could be the con happening this week, it could just be a small con. So I would say, I mean, if you're beginning, definitely don't travel very, very far for this one. I traveled 2 hours, but that's because I have family here, so I could stay there, but also I didn't ball out on a hotel. I literally bought a cheap motel that I've been staying at that I spent like $100 something on. And sometimes you gotta use those options to just park every day, because to be honest, it's cheaper than getting like a $500 hotel across the street just for convenience when you don't know how a show is. Especially for me, because this is my first time getting into magic. Applied for 3 years straight, and this is the first time they actually let me in, and they let me in off the waiting list. So I very well couldn't have been here. So I'm grateful for being here and getting what I'm getting now, because honestly, I mean, I'm following what I usually get for quota, so I'm not too upset. I'm just hoping that today is a little better than yesterday, or at least around the same ballpark, and I'll be okay with what I have and okay enough to do this again next year. But right now we're 2 hours into the con, and there's a lot of people, but there aren't a lot of purchases. I think everyone is still like window shopping, waking up, deciding on what they want to do, probably getting some food, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of panic buying later. I'm pretty sure most people who are going to come in here are still checking out of their hotels and putting their stuff into their bag, but that's all I have for right now. Code's drawn. I'm probably going to draw too. Get some work done until I can get some sales.
First of all, jump scare warning, but also with Toad being there, and as slow as it was, I actually finally got the chance to walk around and go see some people I'd seen before. I got to see my friend Becca, and it was pretty cool. You guys should go follow her. There was a lot of good artists there. Honestly, some people I'd never seen before. Told a lot of people flew in from California, which is kind of crazy. I even saw Molcana there, which I thought was really cool, and I actually went to go say hey to her. If you're watching this, I'm sorry I was a nervous wreck. I meant to be normal, but I was so fangirled out, like I didn't even really know what to say and how to say it. It kind of surprised me that she was there, but at the same time, I believe she was under the same impression I was under, that magic was actually like another really cool Chicago con, which she did say she was inspired by one of her friends to go, but I really don't think I see her coming back.
All right, so we're 2 hours before the day is over. The traffic is very slow. Honestly, I haven't had a sale in about, well, I've had one in the past hour, but before that I haven't had many at all. So it looks like the common thing is about a sale an hour, and they're not really big sales, so I'm thinking everyone is not crazy about rushing to get what they want. I might be speaking too soon because we still have about 2 hours before the show's over. So, but right now it just seems like there's a lot of space and opportunity right now. Not a whole lot happening. It could change. A lot can happen in 2 hours, but I'll let you know if it does. I'm pretty sure it won't.
And I was wrong. Honestly, the last few hours ended up being some pretty good hours. This whole entire weekend was very different for me, and maybe it was that I listened to the hype, but it ended up going pretty well for me in the long run. I ended up leaving this con with about $900 and something as a rough estimate, and I'm pretty happy with what I made. Especially as a beginner, this is only my second or third year doing this thing. I'm not full-time at all, but I'm still in the process of trying to make myself full-time. Friday was the slowest day ever. I barely made table back that day. Saturday was the busiest day where I made back table and my hotel, and I finally started to make profit. And Sunday ended up actually being faster than Friday, but a little slower than Saturday. Together, I was okay with this weekend, and here are some pros and cons that I've seen so far. First of all, the table was the cheapest table I've ever had to pay for in a long time. It was only about $150, and they ended up giving me a second badge for free. Second pro I've seen is being in 2 stamp rallies, which is something I think I'll keep consistent. Maybe not 2 all the time, but definitely joining a stamp rally helps a lot. Although my table placement was closer to the back, the people at the con did circulate the entire convention, and they did move Artist Alley to a different spot, but people still looked out for us more than the exhibitors. As for cons, I will say this is something you definitely should not fly into because it was very hyped up and it turned out to be just an average con for me at the end of the day. I'd say that the organization is a bit bad for this con. There has been a history of people's tables being taken and the con staff not really doing anything about it aside from giving you a new table rather than the one that you were supposed to have. On top of that, when it came to claiming tables, there were people who just showed up and didn't pay anything and just claimed a table, put their stuff on it, and no one really knew. Staff really didn't say anything. I mean, the artists knew, but like the staff doesn't really, I guess, check on their people. And now that I think about it, I really hadn't seen staff walking around Artist Alley at all. I usually at least see staff at a convention walking around. Another thing I have a really big gripe with is the fact that there was no water in the convention hall that was free. Aside from over in the Hyatt where all the panels happen, I was absolutely dying of thirst looking for a free water station, but I had to pay $5 every single day if I wanted a bottle of water. Aside from that, overall, I recommend Anime Magic if you're local to the Chicago area, or even if you're in the general Midwest area and you don't pay for your flight and you book a cheap hotel or have someone to stay with, like a friend or family. It's a pretty decent show, but like I said, it is pretty average. So whatever you make average, then if that's fine with you, I definitely recommend it. Otherwise, I'd say don't do it. Would I come back next year? I think I would, to be honest. It didn't take a whole lot out of me, and as long as I do the same thing I did last time, I think I'll be fine. I also hope to have a lot more inventory by next year, so that it is extraordinary for me. If they'd have me back next year, I'd definitely come back. Hopefully not on the waiting list so I can get a good spot in the front, but I'd come regardless. But that's all for me. My name is Charlie. I didn't say that in the beginning. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and if you like this video, please like and comment an alien face to let me know that you watched the whole video. I am editing a prep vlog that I'll be putting out right after this, so stay tuned, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and I'll see you in the next video.